The first thing the billionaire said after the test flight was, "Don't pay him a single dollar." Silence swallowed the hangar. Mechanics froze with their tools still in their hands. Engineers looked at the floor. Even the pilots exchanged uneasy glances. Standing beside the gleaming private jet was Daniel Brooks, a grease-stained mechanic, a widowed father, and the man who had spent 7 sleepless months bringing the abandoned aircraft back from the dead. His little daughter, Emma, smiled proudly from behind the safety barrier. She had no idea that, in the next few seconds, her father would lose everything. Or so everyone believed, because 3 days later, the same billionaire stood on the runway, surrounded by his executives, staring helplessly as no one, not the company's best engineers, not expensive consultants, not even the aircraft manufacturer, could make the jet start. And every road led back to the same man they had refused to pay. Daniel Brooks never imagined life would become this hard. 5 years earlier, he had buried his wife after she lost her battle with cancer. Overnight, he became both mother and father to 6-year-old Emma. Money disappeared almost as quickly as hope. He sold their family home, moved into a tiny apartment, and worked every job he could find. During the day, he repaired aircraft engines. At night, he fixed lawn mowers, generators, tractors, anything with a motor. Emma often slept on a chair in his workshop, wrapped in an old blanket while her father worked under harsh fluorescent lights. Every night before bed, she asked the same question. "Daddy, are we going to be okay?" Daniel always smiled. "We already are," even when he wasn't sure. His reputation as an aircraft mechanic slowly spread through aviation circles. People said Daniel possessed something computers couldn't measure. He didn't simply repair airplanes. He listened to them. He could hear problems others missed, feel vibrations others ignored, understand machines almost like they were alive. One rainy afternoon, his phone rang. A luxury aviation company wanted him immediately. When Daniel arrived, he found a magnificent private jet parked alone inside an enormous hangar. The aircraft had been sitting there for almost 3 years. Millions of dollars had already been spent trying to repair it. Teams from different countries had failed. Manufacturer specialists gave up. The owners considered selling it as scrap. Then someone mentioned Daniel Brooks. The company president, Richard Langford, greeted him with a forced smile. "I've heard you're some kind of miracle worker." Daniel shrugged. "I'm just a mechanic." Richard laughed. "If you can make this aircraft fly again, you'll receive $1 million. Daniel nearly dropped his toolbox. $1 million. Enough to buy a house. Enough to secure Emma's future. Enough to finally breathe again. He accepted without hesitation. The next morning, he began. Other engineers relied on computers. Daniel started by walking slowly around the aircraft. He touched the wings, listened near the engines, studied old maintenance records, hour after hour, day after day. People laughed. What is he doing? Talking to airplanes. This is ridiculous. Daniel ignored every comment. Weeks became months. He discovered tiny mistakes hidden inside years of failed repairs. Incorrect wiring, damaged sensors, software patches covering mechanical problems. Every fix uncovered another hidden failure. More than once, executives pressured him. "Can't you hurry?" Daniel calmly replied. "You can rush paperwork. You cannot rush safety." Emma became his biggest supporter. Every Friday after school, she visited the hangar carrying homemade sandwiches. The workers began calling her the little foreman. She checked whether her father had eaten, reminded him to drink water, even cleaned small tools. One evening she noticed him staring silently at the enormous jet. "You think it's impossible?" Daniel smiled weakly. "No, I'm just trying to earn our tomorrow." Emma hugged him tightly. "You already did." Her words carried him through another exhausting month. Finally, after 7 months, the engines roared to life. The hangar erupted into applause. Mechanics cheered. Pilots celebrated. Even skeptical engineers admitted they had witnessed something extraordinary. The successful test flight became the talk of the aviation industry. News reporters arrived. Investors celebrated. Richard Langford proudly accepted congratulations as though he had rebuilt the aircraft himself. Then came payment day. Daniel entered the executive boardroom wearing his cleanest shirt. Richard slid a folder across the table. Inside, nothing. No payment authorization. Only legal documents. "Our lawyers found a technical issue," Richard said coldly. "The original agreement wasn't properly approved." Daniel frowned. What does that mean? It means, you'll receive nothing. Daniel thought he had misheard. You promised $1 million. Richard leaned back. A verbal promise. No signed contract. You should have asked for paperwork. Daniel stared at him. 7 months. Countless sleepless nights. Birthdays missed. Meals skipped. Emma waiting patiently every evening. All dismissed with one sentence. Richard smiled smugly. You were already paid. With experience. Laughter echoed around the conference room. Daniel quietly collected his toolbox. He looked at Richard only once. I hope your jet treats you as fairly as you've treated me. Then he walked away. Outside, Emma waited in the parking lot. She immediately knew. They didn't pay you. Daniel forced a smile. No. She squeezed his hand. Then they lost more than money. He didn't understand her words until 3 days later. The company organized a massive ceremony. Potential buyers from around the world arrived. The restored jet would demonstrate its reliability. Television crews filmed everything. Richard proudly waved to investors. The chief pilot climbed aboard. He pressed the starter. Nothing. He tried again. Silence. Engineers rushed inside. They checked batteries, fuel systems, computers. Everything appeared perfect, yet the engines refused to wake. Hours passed. Manufacturer specialists joined. Nothing. A consulting firm flew in by helicopter. Nothing. Richard's confidence turned into panic. Millions of dollars in potential sales vanished every passing hour. Finally, one exhausted engineer quietly spoke. We need Daniel Brooks. Richard's face darkened. No, another engineer answered. Unless you know someone better. The room fell silent. That afternoon, Daniel received another phone call. The company begged him to return. He politely declined. The next day, Richard himself appeared outside Daniel's apartment. The billionaire looked very different. No expensive smile, no arrogance, just desperation. Daniel invited him inside. Richard noticed the peeling walls, the tiny kitchen, Emma doing homework at a worn wooden table. He realized the man he'd cheated wasn't living comfortably. He was surviving. Richard cleared his throat. We need your help. Daniel nodded calmly. I know. You've already heard. Daniel smiled. I expected it. Richard looked confused. You sabotaged the aircraft. Daniel immediately shook his head. Never. I would never risk lives. Then why won't it start? Daniel reached into his toolbox and removed a small notebook. Every repair, every adjustment, every calibration, documented perfectly. He placed it on the table. I created the final synchronization procedure. The engines require it after extended storage. I explained this during our last meeting. Richard remembered. He had interrupted Daniel halfway through the explanation. Too busy celebrating. Too busy planning how not to pay him. Daniel continued. You refused to listen. Richard lowered his head. So, you knew only you could restart it. I knew only someone who respected the process could. For the first time in years. Richard felt ashamed. I was wrong. I'm asking you to come back. Daniel looked toward Emma. She watched quietly. Not angry. Not hateful. Simply waiting to see what kind of man her father truly was. He stood. All help. Richard sighed with relief. But first, you'll keep your promise, and every mechanic who worked unpaid overtime on this project gets compensated. Richard nodded immediately. And one more thing. You apologize to every employee in that hangar. Not through email. Not through lawyers. Face to face. Richard agreed. The following morning, the entire workforce gathered. Richard stood before them. For perhaps the first time in his career, he spoke without pride. I failed. I valued profit more than people. I broke my word. I'm sorry. The hangar remained silent. Then Daniel stepped forward. He entered the cockpit. He performed a careful sequence of checks. Nothing magical. Nothing secret. Simply patient craftsmanship done correctly. He pressed the starter. The engines thundered to life. Cheers exploded throughout the building. Some mechanics even wiped away tears. Not because the aircraft started, but because justice finally had. Richard transferred not only the promised $1 million but also bonuses for the entire restoration team. Daniel used most of the money to create something unexpected. Instead of buying luxury cars or expensive vacations, he opened a training center for young mechanics who couldn't afford aviation school. His rule was simple. Skill matters. Character matters more. Students from struggling families arrived from across the country. Many became outstanding engineers. Years later, Emma stood beside her father during the opening of a second academy. She smiled at the crowd. My dad taught me something I'll never forget. When people refuse to honor your worth, don't destroy them. Simply keep becoming so valuable that the world eventually has no choice but to recognize it. The audience rose to their feet. Not because Daniel had rebuilt an airplane, but because he had rebuilt something far more important. Honor, integrity, hope. The jet that once symbolized greed eventually became a reminder displayed in the Academy's entrance. A simple plaque rested beneath its photograph. It read, "Machines run on fuel. Businesses run on trust. When trust fails, nothing moves." And every new student who walked through those doors understood the lesson immediately. Your greatest strength is never the skill in your hands. It is the honesty in your heart. Because talent may open doors, but integrity is what keeps them open forever.